This is Angela Staines, Tonica's sister in Star Wars, and you're watching Victoria's Cantina. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Victoria's Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard 6-inch action figure. Guys, it feels awesome to be reviewing another Star Wars figure. The channel would not be here without Star Wars. In fact, the word Cantina in the channel name, Victoria's Cantina, comes from the Mos Eisley Cantina in Star Wars because it captured my imagination as a child and I've always loved it. Lately, Hasbro has been doing some amazing work with the 6-inch Black Series line, and we now have this very recently released wave of stellar figures, probably one of the best waves that's ever been released under Black Series, and I was really anxious to get some of them reviewed. So I hope you'll enjoy them. We're kicking off with Lando here, who uses the photoreal print tech on the face. The box, as you can see here, is nothing remarkable. It's the same thing that we've come to expect from Black Series for a long while now. This is number 76 in the line. It says, once a smooth-talking smuggler, Lando Calrissian changed from a get-rich, quick schemer to a selfless leader in the fight against the Empire. When his old friend Han was held captive in the palace of Jabba the Hutt, Lando joined Princess Leia in a mission to rescue him from certain demise. So that is there. Here is the bottom. All right, I'm going to spend a minute, get this guy unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at Lando Calrissian. All right, now here is Lando Calrissian out of the packaging, and I gotta say, this is an outstanding looking release. I mean, just look at that head sculpt. It looks miraculously lifelike. It looks just like Billy D. Williams. In fact, the whole figure looks fantastic. The costume itself is somewhat simple. There's not a whole lot going on with it, but Hasbro translated that very nicely onto the 6-inch plastic form. I think the proportions look really nice. The colors look very nice. The accessories are what you need to complete this figure. And as has been the case for the past year or so, I think they've really owned in on what the Black Series ought to be, especially when you have competition from other brands such as Medicom and Bandai doing their own 6-inch figures for Star Wars, which in the past have generally outshone Black Series. All right, so let's take a close-up look at the head sculpt. And again, this looks fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, that Billy D. Williams likeness is absolutely unreal. I mean, just last year when Hasbro released the regular Lando from Bespin, we'll compare him in a little bit, but it was nowhere near this level of action figure achievement by a mass-producing company like Hasbro. So it really is truly remarkable. I mean, it looks just as it should. I mean, I really can't say what you could do to make this look more like Billy D. Williams because that likeness is completely there and he looks excellent. The hair color, very nice and dark black. It's just basically black. There's no other colors painted in there. And let's look again at the facial paint application. It's very clean. Like the eyes look nice. Eyebrows look great. Mustache looks fantastic. And he's got this expression, just like he's serious. He's going about, the business of rescuing his good old buddy from Jabba's palace. And the rest of the outfit, very nice looking. I really like the metallic look that they gave to his armor. It's pretty similar to what we saw with the Gamorrean guard that we took a look at this past summer. And all the other bits, like the leather straps, are pretty nice, pretty convincing. The rest of the outfit is also very nicely done. I like how they sculpted and textured his shirt. The folds in the sleeves look nice. Hands are pretty nicely done. Of course, they are pre-posed already. Pants are looking good, basically just a light cream color. Not any shading or anything going on, but they look sufficient. And the boots look quite nice as well. Again, not a whole lot going on in terms of shading, but they are nice looking. Like if you look at the boots, those are indeed textured pretty well. So they did a good job there. The soles are painted a darker color. You got your peg holes there. And even this detail right here, this little kilt piece that goes around him is very nicely done. They painted it to look realistic like leather. So I'm really happy with the aesthetics of this figure. Now, in terms of articulation, you get a ball joint here at the top of the head. So you can rotate it, you can tilt it, you can look up a little bit, you can look down a little bit. And I might also add that the neck is a separate joint, so you can move that a little bit as well. You can see how the neck moves along with the head. Very nice touch there. The shoulders have ball hinges, so you can rotate them outward. Now, do note how they are glued in place to his shoulder pads. So if you try and move them too much, unfortunately, you kind of get this weird warping sort of look, and I wouldn't want to do that long term, and the fear of ruining the figure. So I probably would try to stay away from doing that. But you do have insert molded elbows, so you do get a really nice range of movement there, way beyond 90 degrees. You can rotate it, and it looks quite nice. Here are both of the wrists. You can rotate them. The right one goes up and down, and the left one goes forward and backwards. Now this is really nice. Check out this ball joint. Look at the range of movement you get here. That is quite nice. Definitely will help with posing the figure. Nothing else here at the lower waist, but you do have your ball hinges at both of the hips. He doesn't do a full split, but that is definitely quite enough. And he doesn't go forward all the way either, because he is blocked a little bit by the kilt. So you have rotations at both of the thighs. You have double bends at both of the knees. And then here at the ankles, you have your rocker joints. You can bend those forward and back. And of course, you can rotate them. So very nicely done. I do think the shoulders are a little obstructed, but you do get nice movement here in the torso as well as in the head. So overall, very nicely done. So for accessories, we get Lando's helmet, and it is sculpted very nicely. You can see it has those little bones and little pieces there to kind of give it that, very tribal sort of look that the helmet had. And it is also painted very nicely. Even the little details here, like those little, I don't know, this would be like buttons or what you would want to call those, rivets, but they painted them as well. So those look very nice. The inside is basically just like a charcoal color, and we can plug it on his head just like so. And this looks terrific because the expression they gave the figure really lends itself well to how he looks wearing this helmet. So that is awesome. And of course, we also get the staff. The staff is very important because he did carry it around pretty much the entire time at Jabba's palace and aboard the skiff. So it's nice that we have this. It looks great. It's nicely sculpted, and it's even painted with a little bit of detail. I think they cast it in the sort of charcoal color, but you'll also notice that there are some details here. There's a little bit of weathering going on there, a little bit of lighter colored paint that they gave it just to enhance the realism, and I greatly appreciate that. And as you can see, the figure holds onto the staff very nicely. Now, I will say I was a bit perplexed because I was remembering the vintage collection Lando figure, which had a holster on his side and came with a little blaster. The blaster he uses during the skirmish at the pit of Carcoon. And it kind of made me wonder whether or not in the film he actually had the holster, because this figure obviously doesn't. So I went back and looked. In Return of the Jedi, Lando does not have a holster on this costume. So Hasbro got it right. Alright, so here's a comparison between our Skiff Guard Lando and our previously released Bespin Lando. And you can definitely see the benefit that photoreal has when applied to a figure. They're different head sculpts, so there's that as well. I think that the Skiff Lando has a better overall head sculpt. But no doubt, even this older Lando figure would look better if it had the photoreal applied to it. Skin tone also looks a lot better to me on Skiff Guard Lando, which is a huge plus. And then just for laughs and giggles, here is the Donald Glover Lando from Solo: A Star Wars Story compared to the Billy D. Williams Lando from Return of the Jedi. Even though that's a great figure as well, I just don't think it compares to how awesome this Skiff Guard Lando turned out. And just in case you're wondering, here's the Gamorrean Guard, which in and of itself is an awesome figure. But I just gotta say, it's really nice how Hasbro is fleshing out the Jabba's palace scene. And I think some of that excitement comes with the fact that the sail barge is coming out next year. It's awesome to get the characters in 6-inch form as well. And I just hope that they continue to do this. Give us a 6-inch Yak Face. Give us 6-inch Reese. And give us 6-inch Bib Fortuna. That's one that definitely needs to happen in 6-inch at some point or another. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard 6-inch action figure. Overall, you guys, I gotta say, this is a top-notch figure. One of the best of the year, in fact. In a year in which there have been some really tremendous figures in the 6-inch line. I think 2018 has really been a year for Hasbro to figure out what they wanted 6-inch to be, especially when you have all these other companies that are doing high levels of work within their own 6-inch Star Wars lines. Sculpting has improved. The photoreal paint application has really taken Star Wars collecting to a whole other level. And they're doing a much better job with the plastics. They're not as bendy as they used to be. They're not as glossy as they used to be. And they're highlighting some of the details better than they have in the past. So again, this is an exceptional figure, and the fact that it's another original trilogy figure being added to 6-inch makes me especially happy. And I just hope to see Hasbro continue to improve, continue to build upon the Jabba's Palace theme and, even the Cantina theme. We need some more Cantina aliens. There's other areas of the Star Wars world that do need 6-inch figures. So here's hoping that that continues to happen and that figures continue to be as great as Skiff Guard Lando is here, because he's awesome. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below about Skiff Guard Lando. What do you like or not like about him? Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Cantina Chatter podcast. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.